Factories were once the engines of economic growth for many nations. Countries like the US and in recent history China, Vietnam, and Bangladesh used manufacturing to reduce poverty and improve living standards. These jobs gave workers regular pay, skills, and a way into the middle class. But this pathway is under pressure. Automation is changing how things are made, and it's reshaping the way the world thinks about work. In the past, machines mostly replaced physical labor. Today, automation also handles planning, quality control, customer service, and even writing. In 2023, the global market for industrial robots reached $55 billion. That's double of what it was in 2017. Over 3.5 million industrial robots are working in factories worldwide, according to the International Federation of Robotics. Countries with the most robots per workers include South Korea, with 1 robot per 10 workers, Singapore, 918 robots per 10,000 workers, followed by Germany, with 397 robots per 10,000 workers. As automation spreads, fewer people are needed to do the same work. In the US, manufacturing employment peaked in 1979 with 19.5 million jobs. By 2023, that number had dropped to 12.9 million. The sharpest drop came between 2000 and 2010 with over 5 million jobs lost. Offshoring played a role, but automation has become a long-term driver of job losses. Manufacturing made up 27% of US GDP in the 1950s. Today it's just 10.3%, yet manufacturing output has increased. Worker productivity has more than doubled since the 1990s. The average US manufacturing worker now produces over $135,000 in goods per year. Modern American manufacturing focuses on high-value products like aircraft, semiconductors, and pharmaceuticals, while the labor-intensive industries like textiles have largely moved abroad. In Vietnam, manufacturing accounts for 24.8% of GDP and over $340 billion in exports. Electronics, garments, and footwear dominate, so automation is now growing in electronics and warehouse sectors as well. Indonesia's manufacturing share of GDP is 18.3%, which includes food processing, automotive, and basic materials. Automation is increasing in large-scale factories, but small firms are lagging behind. Thailand gets 26% of its GDP from manufacturing. The country leads the region in automation for car production, however, job creation is slowing. McKinsey estimates that 60% of tasks in Southeast Asian manufacturing can be automated with current technology. In sub-Saharan Africa, manufacturing GDP share is only 10%, and it's gone unchanged for 20 years. Nigeria gets just 6.8% of GDP from manufacturing, Kenya 7.5%, South Africa 12.4%, which is down from over 20% in the 1980s. Worker productivity in African manufacturing averages less than $7,000 per worker per year. Compare this to $25,000 in Southeast Asia and over $100,000 in developed countries. Automation makes it even harder for Africa to attract manufacturing investment. In 2022, Sub-Saharan Africa received just 1.9% of global manufacturing foreign direct investment. So the people losing the most are unfortunately those with the least. Low-skilled workers, especially those residing in poorer regions of the world. In Bangladesh, 4.4 million garment workers power 85% of exports. An ILO report warns that 60% of those jobs could disappear due to automation in the next 20 years. India saw a drop of 9 million manufacturing jobs from 2016 to 2021. Most of those jobs are in the informal sector, which has few protections or retraining options for workers. In Southeast Asia, women make up over 70% of the garment industry workers. Many earn $150 to $300 per month. These jobs are now being automated. In sub-Saharan Africa, over 12 million youth enter the workforce every year, but only 3 million formal jobs are created. Automation is shrinking that number even further. In the US, factory workers over 45 without college degrees struggle the most. Just 1 in 4 displaced workers earns as much in their next job, according to the Economic Policy Institute. Some workers in countries are gaining. Germany gets 19% of GDP from manufacturing. It has one of the strongest vocational occupational training systems in the world and over 400 robots per 10,000 workers. South Korea has more than 1,000 robots per 10,000 workers, the highest globally. Productivity is high, and exports remain strong despite their aging population. Japan has nearly 400,000 industrial robots in operation. Manufacturing still contributes 20% to GDP, and robotics and automation are helping keep production competitive. In the US, over 350,000 tech jobs were added in 2023. AI, robotics, and software are some of the fastest growing sectors. India's IT and BPO sector generated $250 billion in revenue in 2023 and employed 5.4 million people. Most new jobs are in software, services, digital infrastructure, and analytics. But these roles require advanced skills. Most displaced factory workers are simply not prepared to fill them. Governments around the world are trying to respond. Vietnam is creating technical schools and retraining programs in electronics, logistics, and maintenance, but demand is still higher than the number of training spots available. China is investing through the Made in China 2025 strategy, supporting automation while also developing service jobs and e-commerce logistics. Meanwhile, the European Union has set aside 85 billion euros for digital training, green tech, and workforce transition. Countries like Denmark and Germany have strong systems to move workers into new roles. In the US, the CHIPS and Science Act and the Inflation Reduction Act offered $150 billion in incentives for manufacturing, but capital-intensive sectors like semiconductor production create far fewer jobs per dollar spent. In Africa, countries like Rwanda, Kenya, and Ghana have launched skill training programs, but most spend less than 2% of GDP on education, which is far below the global average. Even with this strong response around the world, automation is not slowing down. Between 2020 and 2030, McKinsey estimates that 400 to 800 million jobs will be lost or transformed by automation. That's 14 to 25% of the global workforce. By this year's end, machines are expected to handle over 50% of workplace tasks, up from 33% in 2022, according to the World Economic Forum. Global sectors most affected are manufacturing, over 30 million jobs could be automated. Retail, 75 million jobs are at risk. Food processing, 63% of repetitive tasks are automatable. And logistics, 20 million driving jobs may disappear. Let's look at the impact in OECD countries. 14% of existing jobs are highly automatable. 32% will be transformed and need new skills. Around 66 million workers may need retraining by 2030. Now, if OECD countries manage this well, automation could boost GDP by 0.8 to 1.4 percentage points annually. Productivity may rise by 25 to 35% over 10 years. New jobs in green energy, healthcare, and digital services may offset some of these job losses. Now, let's look at the impact in developing regions. Over 85% of sub-Saharan Africa's workforce is in informal, low-skilled jobs. South Asia may lose 50% of assembly line jobs by 2040. GDP growth could slow by 1 to 2 points per year. Africa must create 25 million jobs yearly by 2030 just to match population growth. So foreign direct investment into labor-intensive sectors is declining, making growth much harder to achieve. Like it or not, automation is reshaping the global labor market. High-income countries may benefit from productivity gains and job transformation, but low-income countries risk being left behind. So the next 10 years will decide who adapts and who doesn't. Automation isn't a future issue. It's happening now. It's changing the way products are made. It's changing who gets hired. For workers in many parts of the world, the era of factory jobs is now ending. Without action, millions will be left without stable worker income. And the cost of doing nothing might be felt for decades. Subscribe for more insights from Econopoly. Thanks for watching.